What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is going to be your review of Love and Marriage Huntsville, the reunion part one. So we start the reunion off doing our best. Bravo, Andy backstage. We showing everybody show up, and they talking, having their little conversations, and Carlos is going room to room, greeting everybody and all that good stuff, and just asking them how they feeling and what they have, how they feel about what's going to happen and all of that. Um, Marceau said basically Marceau was he has the attitude that he's kind of sick of the women sort of dragging each other down. He said, we know that Leticia and Melody don't have a problem dragging each other down, but I just don't want any parts of it. I just don't. You could tell he just really just not with any of the negativity. You know what I mean? We know that Marcel's mother-in-law is there, and we also know that Maurice's ex-wife is there, but we don't see them until next week. So that will happen next week. I'm surprised Leticia went on camera letting us see her get her wig put on, but okay, all right, it's cool. When they filmed this, Melody was, I think she said 7 months pregnant, I think 6 or 7 months pregnant. So and she had that long the blonde bob and everything. She had a little gold dress on, and the fashions, y'all know that ain't my thing. Everybody looked nice. Yeah, I wasn't crazy about some of the outfits, but they weren't horrible. Nothing made me be like, ooh. So we start the episode off. The host is Egypt. What's her name? Egypt. Shepherd. Yeah, Sheard. So we start off with, of course, they bring the couples out and they talk about, how has the show been received in Huntsville. They were like, you have definitely put Huntsville on the map. And everybody said they've gotten pretty much good feedback, about the show. And they start with the Holtz. And Martell, the part where Martell was having an issue with Melody getting all of the attention and all of the accolades and everything like that. And she said, well, Martell doesn't like to do public speaking. And so when things would come up and we were doing more and more, the public speaking fell on me because he doesn't want to do it. And he even said, yeah, I'm nervous right now. And Maurice sort of co-signed on it and was like, yeah, no, that's not his thing. And so, Melody was saying how, I'm not sure, I do thank him. I'm not sure what it is he wants from me, and, the host was like, well, I guess he just wants that public, recognition. And so Melody sort of stood up and said, thank you, Martell Holt, kind of made a production out of it or what have you. But, her thing was, look, it is what it is. He did not make me. And of course he's still on the sideline saying that he thinks that he did have, that it was all about him and that he made her who she was. And she said, no, he did not make me. I've always had favor with God and I was always destined to do great things. Maybe the two of us together, maybe we accelerated it. Maybe we went in a different direction. She said, but I would have always been successful. And I said, I know that's right, Melody. I ain't mad at you for feeling that way, girl. So then they sort of addressed a little bit of the elephant in the room, honey. They didn't refer to Funky Dineva by name. They just kept saying a popular blogger. And my thing is, as much as they mentioned a popular blogger, they should have just flew to Funky Dineva in and let him say his piece, but neither here nor there. Like I said, I'm still mad that I wasn't in the audience, but okay, we just gonna keep moving. So then they brought up did Melody steal Martell from her sorority sister. And she went and told the story about how, she actually went to a sorority meeting the day of their first date. And she even said to the group, look, does anybody know Martell Holt? Because I'm going out on a date with him tonight. And I just want to know what you know and what you don't know. And that's not, I can see that happening. I could definitely see that happening. I went to an all-girls college and we would definitely do a group check. Be like, okay, I just met this dude named so-and-so. Does anybody in the room know him? Anybody in the room dated? Lord. Anybody in the room dated him? I need to know. Let a sister know what I'm walking into. And then you also want to make sure you're not crossing that line of dating somebody that, friend, ex, or whatever like that. So I don't know whether it's true or whether it's not, but they did address it. So then they talked about the kids' situation with the guys, and they talked about how the guys are all good fathers in their own right, and Melody has always said that Martell is a good dad, so that's never been a question. And then we got a chance to see, we know Maurice is basically fighting everybody to have, to get custody of his son, and so we know that there's that. But we also know Marceau and his idea of parenting. He sees watching his children as a babysitting, and know that you're not babysitting; those are your kids, bruh. But it is what it is. Now, Leticia said that some people have sort of gotten on Marceau, and so he is trying to do a little bit more around the house, and he is trying to help out a little bit more because, I guess he was getting a little bit of negative backlash and flack. I mean, my thing was when he didn't know his child had a daggone peanut allergy, I was just like, really, Marceau? And again, maybe that was all for show, but that little boy was serious. When Marceau told him to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, that little boy looked at him like, have you lost your mind? You want me to eat what? So, but we definitely, I would never second guess that these are good fathers. Again, I think Marceau's idea is I make sure that the house is taken care of. Therefore, you should take care of the kids. And I think his views are very archaic. However, I ain't his wife, so there's that. Then, of course, they asked Kimmy about the situation with Monster. And Kimmy was like, let me be clear. I love Monster. I love the fact that Maurice wants Monster. I support it, and I'm here for it. So, I think she was sort of got a little bit of a bad rap because it seemed like maybe she didn't want Maurice to get Monster. But that wasn't the case. I think she was just upset at how much he was sacrificing to do it and felt like he was allowing himself to be manipulated and allowing herself to be disrespected. So I think that I really think that's what the issue was. But she cleared it up and said, no, I love Monster, and I support Maurice and what he's doing with Monster. I support all of it. So then they doubled. This is where it got real nasty. They got to Leticia and Melody situation. So, you know how they always got to play. They got a flashback throughout the season, and I've kind of made my feelings known in reference to this whole situation. And at the end of the day, part of what came up was that Melody was saying that Leticia has used some of her language, and her thing was, y'all give me a hard time about the social media and about going to galas and balls and all the stuff that I do, but now y'all are all doing the same thing, but you want to make it seem like I'm such a horrible person or whatever. Then so they talked about the podcast because Leticia, I guess, used the language blueprint, which I guess is a Melody trademark of her blueprint. And Leticia explained that, she wasn't trying to copy off of Melody. And Melody felt like, look, I sort of bought all of this. I sort of opened up this door for all these opportunities that you guys are walking into now. And so I don't know if I necessarily buy that. Well, I guess I do buy it from the point of view of, from my understanding, that the hosts actually shopped this show, and that's why their EP's on the show. So I guess from that point of view, I guess, yes, they sort of created this situation for them. But just from a, whenever you're on a reality show, you start getting all sorts of opportunities that weren't there for you to begin with. Then they brought up Leticia throwing out, the comments about Martell and the girlfriend and the car and everything. And it just... So, and again, they brought up the popular blogger again in reference to the car, the having to match a car. And Leticia was like, well, I have the picture here. Melody sent me a picture of it. And Melody, of course, is trying to act like, basically, Melody admitted that the woman drives a BMW, but she was like, it's not a matching car. It's not a matching car. She just drives a BMW. It's not the exact same make, model, color, blah, blah, blah. Then Martell, he got all in it and was like, do you have receipts? I mean, do you have any receipts? I didn't buy a car. The only woman I've ever bought a car for was my wife. So, do you have any receipts about that? And Leticia was like, well, your wife gave me the receipt. She sent me a picture. Kimmy agreed that they had made little snide comments about Melody, about being a post queen and all this other stuff. And what we found out was that Melody and Kimmy were able to get past their issue because Kimmy said, you know what, I found that in the past, I inserted myself in business that wasn't mine. And I would get backlash because people would sort of be looking at me like, ain't nobody ask you. And so I had to realize that I needed to take a step back and insert myself only when it concerned me. And that was a really nice way of Kimmy saying, I learned how to mind my damn business, and me and Melody have been getting along fine ever since. And I can't be mad at you, Kimmy. And Kimmy, whatever was said, Kimmy said, yeah, I said that. Yep, we said that. Yep, I said that. So I can, and Kimmy said, I stand in my ish. I just stand in mine. Like, whatever I said, I said. Like, it is what it is. So then they were talking about Melody and Leticia. Then again, they had the conversation again about Marceau and his 20 girlfriends. And they asked Marceau point blank, even if it wasn't 20, have you ever cheated on your wife? Marceau said no. Because, they said, you seem sort of hesitant to speak on it when y'all were at the lake and when it came up or whatever. And Marceau was like, no, I have not cheated on my wife. Baby, them Holtz was over there cackling and giggling in the corner like, So then Leticia gonna throw to Martell. Well, how would you know if he's lying? Were you there? Martell was like, yep, I sure was. I said, and you could see it shook Leticia. You could see it shook her. So then Leticia got catty. She got real catty, and Leticia started talking about, I might be out of order with this conversation, y'all, but I'm just telling you what happened. Leticia started talking about, how all of Huntsville knows about the affair and this, and this, and that. And Marceau is telling Leticia, be quiet, stop, be quiet, stop. Because remember, he said at the beginning he wasn't with the shits. He was not here for no back and forth dragging. He didn't want to do it. And he said, I realized why Martell was upset with me. They were so casual about the infidelity that I got casual about the infidelity. And yes, I started making jokes and I started saying things that probably weren't appropriate and certainly did not help their situation. And I'm not going to do that again. I'm not going to be that person again. I'm not going to say things again that are going to be hurtful or that's going to be hurtful to their marriage. And so Leticia was going there. She was going there, and Marceau was, you could hear him whispering under his breath, stop it, stop. And I didn't hear him tell her to shut up, but maybe he did because that's what she said he said. And he's, telling her, just be quiet. Shut up. Just be quiet. So then they talked about that anniversary dinner, which y'all know this was one long season. So this wasn't a season 1, season 2. This was season 1, part 1 and season 1, part 2. So they were bringing up stuff that happened, over the summer and then, when they came back in the fall. And so, or late summer, I should say, early fall. So, they brought up the dinner, the anniversary dinner, which, of course, remember, that was supposed to be their 10-year anniversary dinner. And y'all remember, I said it then. You go back and look at my old reviews. I said it then. Why Leticia was being so damn messy and bringing up infidelity at a daggone anniversary dinner, I didn't understand it then. So they brought that up. And Leticia tried to explain it, saying, well, we were in a conversation, and I was talking about my husband and I having a hard time and the things we went through in our first 5 years of our marriage. And so I just asked them, well, how did you guys get through what y'all got through? And the Melody was like, go back to that tape and tell me at any point in time when you brought up, like, tell me what y'all talked about. Like, what specific did you say? Leticia gonna say, I don't have to answer your questions. You aren't the one answering the questions. Melody said, well, I'm just saying, I just want to know what infidelity did we talk about? I mean, what did y'all talk about that was so deep, dark, secret, when y'all want to talk about our infidelity and talk about our situation? So Leticia was really on the hot seat, y'all, for a lot of this. So, again, I'm out of order, y'all, but basically, Leticia they were arguing back and forth, and then Martell was like, well, look, I'm right here. Don't be talking about me, because they started talking about the car or whatever again. And Martell was like, well, I'm right here. Don't bring that up, And so Leticia was like, well, I'm not speaking to you. I'm speaking to Mel. And Martell was like, but the horse's mouth is right here. If you want to get it from the horse's mouth. And basically her receipt was that Melody sent her a picture of the woman's car. And I already said that part, that it wasn't matching or whatever. So then they brought up who the woman was. And again, popular blogger. They brought up that a popular blogger said who she was and everything. And they asked Martell to confirm whether that was the person, that was her or not. So Martell was like, well, I don't know, because I haven't seen the video. So they were like, oh, so you haven't seen this video from this popular blogger? And Martell gonna say, no, I have not. And that's a bullshit lie. I don't believe that. Let me tell you something. First, and that's the other thing Martell said, talking about something, I'm not a liar. Martell, you've been lying this whole way through. You've been lying since last season, when you started off saying you never had an affair. Like, let's go there. You've been lying the whole time. So don't sit here and talk about something. You're not a liar. You are a liar. You're a liar. So then he said that he hadn't seen the video by the popular blogger, and that's bullshit. Because if you were looking at random TV reviews with their 10,000 subscribers, I damn sure know you saw what Funky Dineva was saying with his 250,000 subscribers. So let's not do that. Let's not do that. I know good and damn well you saw what the hell Funky Dineva put out there. But whatever. That was his way of not having to answer the question or address it. Because he said if he didn't see the video, he can't address the video. Whatever. Then that was where they took a break for lunch. And when they took the break for lunch, no, was it before? No, they didn't take a break for lunch yet. They didn't take the break for lunch yet. Then that's when they started getting on Leticia and Marceau and the affair, and whether Marceau cheated or not, and how Martell knows that Marceau cheated, da-da-da-da-da. And Maurice jumped in and was like, look, stop. Y'all need to just stop, because, he was saying, don't you see that you're tearing them up? You're tearing up, y'all tearing up y'all relationship and y'all friendships, but don't you see you affecting their marriage? And Melody and Marceau was like, what are we doing? Like, how am I affecting their marriage? And again, y'all know what y'all doing. Whether it's true or whether it's false, y'all know exactly what y'all doing, because y'all brought up the 20 women and y'all kept that narrative going this whole second half of this season. So don't act innocent, act like you don't know that you could be causing problems for their marriage, because Melody, you know the situation you in right now with your marriage. So don't do that. But Maurice was trying to really be peacemaker and trying, because they were getting real nasty and it was getting really catty. And you could tell that Leticia was starting to get upset. You could see it in her face. Melody, and like I said, I told you Marceau was telling Leticia to stop, because it was getting nasty. It really was. And they yelling back and forth. They arguing back and forth. Leticia and Marceau just sitting in the middle. Maurice is yelling back and forth, talking about, how, you're tearing us up. You're tearing this up. Y'all need to really know how to figure, y'all need to work this out. Really being the peacemaker. That's when they broke for lunch. Then after they broke for lunch, everybody sort of went to their own little, I guess, separate corners. Leticia's crying, talking about she's angry with Marceau because Marceau doesn't have her back. Marceau, wasn't supporting her. Marceau was telling her to be quiet. Well, that's what she said. He was telling her to shut up. And Marceau was like, I told her I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to dig in the mud. Like, I don't want to do this with them. Let it go. Stop. Then Maurice was talking to Leticia. And then Maurice went to Marceau and tried to, say, well, you need to talk to your wife and y'all need to work it out. And then the whole time you got the Holtz in the back talking about something. We hope, baby. We one unit. You come for one, you come for both of us. And, and that's what I talk about. She throw these digs and then want to play victim and then want to start crying. So it's nasty with them, y'all. So that's pretty much where we ended part 1. And part 2 is next week. Part 1, I think we're going to see a lot more of the Kimmy Maurice situation, because Kaya was going to be on there. And then we're going to have the mother-in-law on there. So we'll see. But yeah, it was nasty, y'all. It wasn't good. It wasn't good at all between those two couples. And like I said, I feel like Marceau was trying to stay out of it, resolve it, and move on. Like, he really didn't want to wallow in this. I don't know why. I don't know. I've been saying that Leticia, it seemed like Leticia been on one. I don't know what the second half of the season, what Leticia's issue was. I really don't know, but it wasn't good. So anyway, we'll see what we pick up next week, y'all. Let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.